So let me ask you something. What if I told you that one of the world's smallest countries is quietly creating some of the biggest investment opportunities on the planet? I'm talking about a place that isn't just growing, it's growing smarter, greener, and in a way that's built to last for decades. Yep, we're talking about Singapore. And today we are pulling back the curtain on 3 Singaporean titans, absolute powerhouses that are perfectly set up for some serious long-term growth. We're going to do a deep dive into Sembcorp Industries, the company going all in on green energy. Then there's ST Engineering, the high-tech wizard behind our planes and smart cities. And finally, CapitaLand Investment, the company that's totally reinventing the real estate game. So stick around, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly what makes these companies tick and which one might just be the perfect addition to your own portfolio. Let's do this. All right, before we really get into the good stuff, I gotta do the responsible thing here. Quick disclaimer, and listen up. This video is purely for educational purposes, okay? It is not financial advice. Please do your own research, or better yet, chat with a licensed financial advisor before making any moves. Investing always has risks, and what happened in the past, well, it doesn't guarantee what will happen in the future. Okay, let's set the stage. So, why Singapore? Out of all the places in the world, why are we zooming in on this tiny red dot on the map? Well, here's the thing. While the rest of the world's economy is kind of hitting the brakes, Singapore is showing just how tough it is. Think of it like a really well-built ship navigating some choppy seas. The journey might slow down a little, but the ship itself is solid, stable, and not going anywhere. But the real secret sauce, the thing that makes Singapore so exciting for investors right now, is something called the Singapore Green Plan 2030. Now, don't let the name fool you. This is not just some little environmental project. This is a massive government-backed roadmap to completely rewire the entire economy for a sustainable future. They are pumping billions into clean energy, green technology, and smarter, eco-friendly cities. And here's the kicker. The companies leading this charge, they're the ones we're talking about today. A lot of these companies are actually partially owned by the Singapore government's own investment arm, which means their growth isn't just a maybe, it's a national priority. For us as investors, that signals stability, predictability, and a very, very clear path forward. It's like betting on a team where the coach and the owner are working together to make sure they win. So with that in mind, let's meet our first player. All right, first up, we have Sembcorp Industries. So what do they do? In the simplest terms, Sembcorp is an energy company that's making a huge, bold pivot. Imagine a guy who's been collecting classic, gas-guzzling muscle cars his whole life, and then one day he decides to sell them all to go all in on a fleet of high-tech electric vehicles. That's Sembcorp. They're moving from old-school brown energy to the future of green, renewable energy. So what makes them so strong? Well, for starters, they are a cash-making machine. In 2024, they brought in over $1 billion in profit. A big reason for that is they're smart. They lock in their prices with long-term contracts, which protects them from the crazy price swings of the market. It's like having a guaranteed salary instead of hoping for freelance gigs. And get this, they've created this beautiful self-funding growth cycle. They take all that stable cash they make and immediately reinvest it into buying and building more green assets like solar farms and wind farms. It's brilliant. And the best part? They're sharing the wealth. They recently boosted their dividend payout to investors, which is basically management saying, "We're confident, our earnings are solid, and we know this growth is sustainable." Now, let's be real. No investment is perfect. So what's the risk here? In the short term, things like lower electricity prices or even just a less windy season could ding their profits a bit. And whenever a company is on a big shopping spree for new assets, there's always a small risk they might overpay. But for the long-term investor, Sembcorp is a fantastic story. You're getting a leader in the global energy transition that's super profitable, but the stock still looks like a pretty good deal. This one is my top pick, and for good reason. Okay, moving on to our second powerhouse, ST Engineering. So what's their deal? Think of ST Engineering as the ultimate high-tech problem solver for governments and massive corporations. These are the folks who maintain, repair, and overhaul our airplanes. They build cutting-edge defense technology, and they create the smart systems that run our cities, from traffic lights to public security. They are everywhere. Their key strength, their secret weapon, is something called earnings visibility. And trust me, theirs is off the charts. As of mid-2025, ST Engineering was sitting on a $31.2 billion order book. Yeah, you heard that right, billion. That's a giant confirmed pipeline of work that will keep them busy and profitable for years to come. It's like a restaurant being fully booked for the next 3 years straight. It provides an incredible amount of security. This is why they had a record-breaking 2024. And their growth is tied to huge global trends: more air travel, rising defense budgets, and the global push for smarter cities. So, what's the catch? Well, it's not exactly a hidden gem. The market knows this company is a beast, and the stock price shows it. You're paying at premium for this level of quality and safety. Some would say the good news is already priced in. But honestly, for an investor who hates surprises and wants to sleep well at night, ST Engineering is a fortress. That massive order book makes it one of the most reliable long-term bets you can find. And finally, we've got our third contender, CapitaLand Investment, also known as CLI. So what's their story? CLI is a real estate manager that's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. For decades, the old model was to own a ton of physical buildings, which is super expensive and capital intensive. CLI is flipping that model on its head. Think about it like this. Instead of owning a giant, expensive hotel building themselves, they realized it's way smarter to be the expert managing the hotel for other people and just collecting a nice, steady fee for it. That's CLI. They do this on a massive scale, managing investment funds for big clients that own things like data centers, logistics warehouses, and business parks. They get the steady, reliable fee income without having to own all the heavy assets. It's an asset-light model. And here's why that's so powerful. You might look at their overall revenue and see that it's a bit flat, but that's actually part of the plan. They're selling off the heavy stuff. The real magic is in their profits, which are projected to grow by double digits. This is a clear sign the strategy is working. So, what are the risks? Well, this big transformation is still happening, so there could be some bumps along the way. Their success really depends on them hitting their ambitious goals for growing the funds they manage. But for the forward-thinking investor, CLI is a fascinating opportunity. They represent the future of real estate investing, a smarter, more scalable, and more profitable way of doing things. Okay, so let's bring it all home. The final verdict. How do these three stack up? First, we have Sembcorp Industries. I'm calling this one the value and growth champion. You get a leader in the green energy revolution that's super profitable, but the stock still looks undervalued. This is for the patient investor looking for fantastic total return. Second, there's ST Engineering. This is your fortress of stability. You pay a bit more for it, but you're buying rock-solid security and a guaranteed growth pipeline. This is for the risk-averse investor who values certainty above all else. And finally, we have CapitaLand Investment. This is the forward-thinking innovator. It's a bet on a modern, capital-light business model that could redefine its industry. This is for the investor who sees where the world is going and wants to get there first. So, there you have it. 3 absolute monsters from the Singapore market, each with a unique story and a powerful reason to be optimistic. Now, I'm genuinely curious. What do you guys think? Do you own any of these stocks, or are any of them on your watch list? Drop a comment down below and let me know. I read every single one. And hey, if you made it this far and got some value from this video, you know what to do. A little tap on that like button really helps the channel out. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.